Rael-Scholl's House, A Little Fears Story by Scribbler Johnny. The harsh voices of the blackbirds sounded a bit human. Hey, hey, they seemed to say as they chased him. They scratched Matt, buffeted him with their wings, and pecked him. His vision blurred from the tears and the pain. That jerk Gossamer ditched him. As suddenly as they'd attacked him, they swarmed a group of butterflies. Matt wiped his eyes and kept running. He saw a huge iron fence in the path ahead, but it looked like it was built to be climbed. The birds weren't chasing him anymore, but he thought they were laughing. A regular bunch of heckles and jeckles. See a front porch swing and hear a diamond ring, fellas. He climbed. He could maybe get help. Gossamer, the monster under Matt's bed, watched from the branches of a tree nearby and chuckled. Uh-oh, Matty, that's Rael-Scholl's house. Back in our world, Chance hung up the phone. Tia Flo said she didn't know where Matt was, just that she thought he was already on his way to see Chance. Something felt wrong. Closetland had been ramping up activity in his neighborhood. Even Gabby and her friends had fought off a monster at their last sleepover, and they now called themselves the Thorn Princesses. Chance looked at his wooden practice sword. He would give it time. He hoped he was being paranoid. Pablo was reading an article on his friend face feed. Homeless people found dead. Officials baffled. 8 homeless men and 1 homeless woman have been found dead, the coroner's office reported. The cause of death listed as asphyxiation. Pablo looked up that last word. Suffocation. Uh-oh, a serial killer. Or maybe it was a monster, like his friend Facer role-playing group said that everything weird in the news was. It was scary fun, but Pablo knew monsters weren't real. Some of those kids really believed it. He bet they believed in the Easter Bunny, too. It was springtime. He bet someone would say the Easter Bunny was actually a monster. Still, he liked the group. His friend Matt's cousin Chase was a member too, and he was cool for an older kid, not the kind to pretend they didn't know you when their other friends were around. And a message from Chance popped up on his notifications. Hey, Matt's not around. Have you heard from him? The message said. His profile picture showed the crest of the Butterfly Knights overlaid onto it. Nah, man, he typed. Thought he would be with you today and then with me mañana. We were going to watch Slam Night. Is Gravedigger still your favorite wrestler? Chance replied. That's the guy. Him and Mortuary Molly are still the mixed tag team champs, Pablo replied. Cool. It's probably nothing, but if badness goes down, get your lacrosse gear and be ready to meet me by the b-ball hoops at your school, okay? Badness? Look, you know monsters are real, right? Chance replied. No, this is just for fun. Ay, Pablo, you're kidding. Listen, amigo, most of the kids in this group are playing, but I'm serious. Monsters are real, and they might have taken Matt to their world. My sister Gabby and her crew might come along, so don't be weird about it. Oh, crud, the princess posse. But Pablo typed, "K." Monsters. His closet had started spooking him out again, even though he was 10 years old. He was old enough to know Santa and the Easter Bunny and Slam Night weren't real. Although last month Mortuary Molly had Injured her elbow for real, though. Wrestling was real enough for him. But if Chance took monsters seriously, then Pablo chose to give him the benefit of a doubt. Not a chance. That would have been a total dad joke. Not that Pablo knew jack about dads. His died in the sandbox when he was a baby. Everyone said there would be troops in the sandbox still by the time he was old enough, so Pablo was pretty sure he'd go over there too. He couldn't pinpoint why. To make his old man proud, maybe. Marines weren't scared of monsters. No way. Pablo logged off and stepped away from the computer desk. "I'm done, Mama," he called out. "I might go play a pickup game at the school, okay?" "Okay, mijo." Pablo went to his room and dug his gear out of the closet. Gloves, pads, helmet, stick. Maybe the net could trip a monster. He didn't shut his closet door all the way. Never know where it might open. Pablo shook his head with a laugh. Friend face games. He pushed it shut until he heard the click. He stowed his gear in his backpack, leaving his books on his bed. And then he straightened out the covers and stuff. It wasn't tight or nothing, but it's not like he was a Marine yet either. He looked at the clock, and then he was bored. He started reading a comic, The King of Dreams. He'd nabbed it at the library. Meanwhile, Chance was practicing breathing exercises to calm himself. And then he decided to go check on Gabby. He braced himself before getting to her door. The door was closed. Any girly weirdness could be afoot. He knocked. Gabby opened the door. She was wearing a dandelion garland. "What is it you want, Sir Knight?" she asked. "Princess Gabrielle. My squire, Matthew, may be in peril. Would you contact the princesses of our neighboring kingdoms to see if they can render aid?" "What's render aid?" Gabby asked. "I don't know, but, aid means help in this case, and princesses render aid all the time." "Oh, good. I thought it was some sort of drink like lemonade," she replied. "I'll call Princess Lakeisha and Princess Sandra." "My thanks, Your Highness," Chance said, bowing over his fist. He returned to his room and started flipping through his battered old copy of The Secrets of the Butterfly Knights. The scrapbook had seen better days, adorned with duct tape and staples. There was what he was looking for. Opening a door to Closetland. This ritual requires belief and a location rich in both the joy and pain of children to weaken the walls between Earthrealm and Closetland. Draw a door in chalk, recite your spell, and be sure you have the protection of bell, book, and candle. Leave an ally to protect the door and take the chalk with you, just in case. When everyone is back, destroy the door. He thought to himself, recite your spell? What spell? The secrets did not include a spell for opening doors. Chance guessed he'd have to make one up. Recite your spell, it said. "Hey, Gabby, ask if they can bring a bell, a book, and a candle for a spell," Chance called out. "'Kay." He bet they'd need a key, too. Something like that was too obvious to be written down in the secrets. In the hallway, there was that thermometer. It was built into a big pewter key. Nice and old-fashioned. Good for magic. If he'd used the key for his gym locker, nobody would be able to believe in it. Chance took the key thermometer and a fat piece of chalk. He knew Matt was in trouble. He knew it deep down. But anyone could be wrong. So he waited for Sandy and Keisha to come over. When they arrived, they were wearing their princess dresses over their blue jeans. And Keisha was carrying her bow, which was the real deal, and some rose branches, which weren't arrows at all, but she said that her dad kept her target arrows locked up. Her belief was still strong for a 9-year-old, and Chance knew that since he was 12, his time was fading. He met them at the door wearing his Butterfly Night t-shirt. At least he believed enough to not hide who he was. "Ah, princesses, how glad I am to see you. Welcome," he said, and gave them a bow. "Hi, Chance," Sandy said, smiling. "Princess Sandra, that's not how we address a Knight of the Butterfly," Keisha chided. "Good morrow to thee, Sir Knight," Sandy corrected, flushing just a bit. Chance waved the little girls inside and shut the door. Okay, enough time had passed, so clearly it was go time. How long had Matt been away from his home? And how long did he have? Back in Closetland, Matt found a garden filled with creepy statues. Goat-legged dudes, naked angels and children. Oh, gross, even one of those pissing fountains. What's worse, the water looked green. But the creepiest statue of all was of a king, or maybe a queen, wearing pants, but also wearing a devil mask. The statue was holding a mask that looked like a crying face in its other hand. And clear as day, Matt saw the numbers 1 through 6 on the statue's left arm, and sure enough, 7 through 12 on the right. And then he heard a wolf howl. The hedges looked way too tall now, and it felt dark. Matt ran again, just picking any direction. He didn't see the masked statue rotate to watch him go. But he saw a house ahead. And the door right there, too. And then hailstones began to fall, stinging his skin whenever they hit. And the wolf howled again. Matt hoped the owner liked kids. The door opened when he tried it, and he shut it behind him with some relief. He could see pots and pans and a big soup spoon. "Hello? I'm sorry for barging in, but there's a hailstorm and these wolves and black birds," Matt called out. And then Matt noticed a small butterfly resting on his chest, slowly flapping its wings. He gently shooed it away. He walked on, thinking that that soup spoon could do something. It was big enough. But this was someone's house. Someone with statues in their garden, and that meant they were fancy. Fancy people would not appreciate a stranger carrying around their stuff. They might shove him out for the wolf and the birds. "Hello?" Matt called out again, walking into a room that was like a hotel lobby. He heard a girl's voice in a nearby room. He jogged over to look inside. Hi, I'm Matt. Are your folks around?" he asked, but he froze at the doorway. An impossibly tall, whip-thin figure turned to look at him. "Come in. Lurking is rude, so it is," said the tall person. Matt saw the numbers on their arms. The figure was holding a smiling mask over their face. "Come, come. Matt, did you say? You are a guest in our home," they said, waving him forward with a free hand. They turned away to arrange more masks that were on hooks, using both hands, and somehow the mask stayed on. "Sit, have a snack. Boys love snacks, the masked person said. Matt reached into his pocket and pulled out a packet of dried apricot slices. Thank you. Share with me? He asked. At this, the mask faced him, smiling. Share? You brought something for us? They asked. Sure, it's polite, right? Matt asked. The gangly figure seemed to ponder this as if it were a Zen riddle. Polite for a guest to bring their own snacks and share them with their hostess? They said the words together. No, they decided, it is not polite. However, since I see you have brought fruit, I accept. You may help yourself to fizzy drinks, chocolate pretzels, and worms, but don't touch the ribbon candy. It's poison. The mask tilted to one side. Or is it the fizzy drinks that are poison? They straightened up to their impossible height and gave a bow. We are Rael-Scholl, king of Closetland. You, Matt, are welcome any time, they declared cheerfully. Matt returned the bow. King Rael-Scholl, were you joking about the poison? Matt asked. I was. The ribbon candy and the worms are both poison. Rael-Scholl tittered, covering their face in a decidedly feminine pose. What about the fizzy drinks? Matt was thirsty, and he saw some glasses that appeared to contain grape soda out of the corner of his eye. Rael-Scholl strode quickly to the banquet table. Poison? In my fizzy drinks? No one would dare! Rael-Scholl poured a gulp into their wide-open mask, swallowing noisily. They set the glass down and belched. Ooh, bad manners. But you see, Matt, safe as houses. Safe as my house. But then Rael-Scholl clutched their throat. Matt, you betrayed me, they gasped, and fell down. King Rael-Scholl? No fooling. Are you playing? He took a step forward. The apricot that he had nabbed from his pocket, now forgotten. He saw a wolf mask on a hook, a red, furious face, a pretty, made-up lady mask, a crowned king mask, and an evil-looking devil mask, just like that statue. He crept closer. Your Highness? You scared me. Good trick, he said, leaning closer to see Rael-Scholl's true face, maybe. A long arm snatched the apricot out of Matt's hand and shoved it into the mask's mouth hole. Munch. Slurp. Ah, the antidote. All forgiven, Rael-Scholl said, and then let out a musical laugh. The kings sprang to their feet. I tricked you. I tricked you good. Matt laughed in relief. You got me, he agreed. For that I get one more apricot? Asked Rael-Scholl, holding out a long-fingered hand. Sure, Matt agreed, fishing for another slice. Give me some skin, man, Rael-Scholl said in a feminine voice. Matt grinned and slapped the fruit into the odd king's waiting palm. They flipped their fingers to toss the dried fruit into the mask's mouth. Snarf, snarf. Very good. Try a fizzy drink. They're safe. Seriously, though, don't eat the worms, Rael-Scholl said, once again masculine in tone. And Matt saw a crystal casserole dish filled with moist dirt. Real worms, Matt was certain. He was really thirsty, and the soda looked good, but something stopped him. You know what, Your Highness? No, thank you. I couldn't, he said. Oh, now that is polite, Rael-Scholl replied, and then tumbled toward their throne. Turning away and replacing their mask with that pretty lady mask. "Did you hear me practicing my wolf howl?" they asked. "The wolf was you? Oh, I was fooled," Matt said, feeling that honesty and flattery both could help him. He ate a slice of apricot from his pocket. Rael-Scholl giggled. "Yes, it was me. I didn't mean to scare you, though. I thought there was no one around. Tell me about yourself, Matt. Have a seat," the now effeminate king added, and Matt felt a chair press against his legs. He sat. "Well, I'm 10, Matt said. The king nodded, waving him to continue. "I like to watch wrestling, and I like Meadowlark Lemon. They're a rock band." "Ah, so you have television and a radio. Do you have computer?" Rael-Scholl asked, their voice distinctly feminine now. "Well, my folks have one that I get to use," Matt said. "So you have one? Oh, so very fancy, Matthew," the king taunted in a low, rumbling voice. And then Rael-Scholl strode back to the banquet table, stepping over Matt's head. They hadn't seemed that tall before. Matt turned to watch, and the king was their previous gangly but not gigantic height. And the king picked up a piece of ribbon candy and popped it into their mouth. "You said the candy was poison," Matt accused. "I didn't lie about that. If you stole some, it would kill you." "I'm immune. It's good to be the king." "Do you like ribbon candy?" Rael-Scholl asked eagerly. "My grandma has some in a bowl a bit like the one you have, but it's not as nice." Rael-Scholl tittered. "Yes, mine is nicer. I don't have a radio or computer or television, but I have a nice garden with statues." "And my worms, of course." At this, the king reached an impossibly long arm over to fetch a worm from the dish of dirt. The worm they retrieved was segmented and had big mandibles around its mouth. These were snapped off before the struggling worm was dropped into the king's waiting mouth without even wiping off the dirt. Rael-Scholl gulped and smacked their lips in satisfaction. "Tell me, Matt, got a girl you like? Or a girl still icky?" Matt realized he might have been safer with the birds. Back in Earthrealm, Lakeisha had cut the thorns from the rose branches that served as her arrows. She kept those thorns in a felt bag with a picture of a cartoon princess who loved archery on it, and she had given one thorn each to her best friends. She believed in the thorns and the arrows. Sandy had a baton that lit up when it was twirled. It was a bit like a shake-up flashlight. And Gabby had a baton too, with streamers. "I brought the candle," Keisha said. "Is it okay if it's been used and says happy birthday?" Chance nodded. "I brought a cowbell. It doesn't have a clapper. My dad hits it with a drumstick," Sandy said apologetically. Gabby added, "I brought a book. It's Moby Richard." "It's okay to say Dick when it's a name, Gabby," Chance added. "All right, bell, book, and candle. I've got chalk and a key. Let's go. Matt needs us." The knight and the thorn princesses walked to James O'Barr Elementary School. They got some looks, but it was Saturday after all. They met Pablo by the tetherball poles, not the basketball hoops. "Man, we're gonna look weird," Pablo observed. "To who?" Chance asked, looking around. "That girl way over there chasing monsters on her phone?" Pablo also took another look around. The area was pretty deserted. Good point, he agreed. You gotta believe, Pablo. Like church, Gabby urged. Pablo nodded. Who's our artist? Chance asked. Keisha raised her hand. All right, give us a door. He handed her the chalk. Meanwhile, you gear up, Pablo. And he pulled his practice sword out of his backpack. Pablo tied on his helmet and his gloves and gripped his lacrosse stick. If Matt runs up from behind a bush, I will never forgive you, he warned. We're serious, Pablo. Monsters are real, and they have Matt. Gabby added, He's been gone since last night. It's the only explanation. So we're safe during the day, Pablo said. Safe from Closetland, anyway, Chance replied. Keisha brushed off her hands, and Chance examined the drawing. Doors need hinges, Keisha, he said. She squatted to fix it. Good enough? She asked. Yeah, it'll work. So then Chance set down the big key thermometer and held out his hand for the cowbell. Sandy handed it to him. Chance closed his eyes, and he shook the bell. It rang. Clonk, clonk. He set it down above the chalk door. Pablo stared with eyes wide. He took Moby Dick from Gabby's hands and set it down beside the bell. He pulled out a brass lighter with a shamrock etched into the side from his pocket and lit the candle. All right, join hands, everyone. Believe in the magic, Chance said. The secrets of the butterfly night said, speak your spell. Speak your spell. Chance took a deep breath and made something up. Hidden door now found, awaken to the silenced sound. Our unringing bell, our unread book, and our rarely used candle. Open to the key we bring, just as you heard our bell ring. Take us to the land behind the closet doors to find Matthew Moores. The lines of the door lit with a piercing glow. The yellow chalk shed purple light. Wow, I'll never make fun of your poetry again, Pablo said. You made fun of my poetry? Chance asked, feeling hurt. There's no time, boys, Keisha interrupted. Chance picked up the chalk and the key. Princess Lakeisha, it's your door and your responsibility to guard it, and to destroy it when we come back, or if a monster tries to come through. If it's not afraid of the sun, it's bad news, Chance said. I understand, Sir Chance, Lakeisha said, nodding grimly. Pablo, Princess Sandy, Princess Gabrielle, human chain, Chance ordered. They linked arms. Red Rover, let Chance come on over, he said to himself. He touched the key to the keyhole. He turned it. Well, then he turned his hand above where the doorknob was drawn, and everything went upside down. On the butterfly night, the two thorn princesses and the lacrosse enthusiast were in the gray-skied garden outside of the home of the King of Envy. I recognize that statue, Chance said, filled with dread. Where'd the sun go? Where's the sun, Chance? What's wrong with the sky? Shouted Pablo, craning his neck. There is no sun in Closetland, hermano, Chance said calmly. A butterfly landed on Chance's wooden sword. It's all right, Chance soothed, and the butterfly began to glow. Butterfly nights, Gabby said in wonder. We're sworn to protect the butterflies. I know I'll need to find an apprentice before I turn 13 and lose all my belief, Chance said. What? Pablo asked. I won't be a kid anymore, Chance replied. I'll be a teen officially. Pablo blinked. Come on, Matt's in Rael-Scholl's house. He's in big trouble, Chance said, leading past the statue of the androgynous king. Who's Rael-Scholl? Gabby asked. The king of envy. There are a few kings in Closetland. The boogeyman is the king of greed, for example, Chance replied. Well, envy, that's not so bad, Sandy said. So he gets jealous. Yeah, then he kills you and steals your face and turns it into a mask, Chance retorted. The kitchen door was locked. Chance blinked and then used his key. It opened, but he had to fight the door to hold it open. Hurry, he grunted, and the others pushed past him. He spun around, letting the door slam behind him. Rael knows we're here now. No use keeping quiet. Don't take anything, Chance said, and softly slapped Sandy's hand away from a china teacup. Chance ran ahead, but the door from the kitchen did not lead to the main hall. Wait, I know, Gabby said. She pushed the door shut, counted to 3, and opened it again. Now they saw the hall. Hey, good job, Gabby, Chance said before continuing to run. Matt, we're here, Chance called out. Here, Matt called happily. They found him sipping what looked like grape soda. Hey, meet King Rael-Scholl. We're friends. This here's my cousin, Chance. That's not Matt. It's a trick, Chance said. Rael-Scholl clapped, and the image changed. They saw Matt, but he was sitting in the chair. He was held down by some unseen force, and he struggled against it. Hi, boys and girls. You want to be my friends, the king said, now wearing the king mask, but holding the devil mask. Let him go, Rael. We're taking him home, Chance said. Or what? You'll hit me with sticks? Rael-Scholl mocked. You're in my house. There is no escape. A bargain. A fair trade, Chance insisted. Rael-Scholl snatched another of Matt's apricots. Fair trade? For him? Make me an offer, Monty. Let's make a deal. Wayne is the let's make a deal guy, Pablo said. Shut up, Pablito, Rael-Scholl said. I offer a mystery, a treasure, and a riddle. The best part is they're all connected, Chance said, thinking quickly. Rael-Scholl ate the apricot and clapped. Matt stood up and ran to join his friends. First, give me the treasure, the king demanded. Gabby, give him your thorn, Chance said. She looked at him. But Chance, it's our symbol. It's our talisman. Yes, give it to me, Rael-Scholl hissed with greed. This thorn came from a bush in a princess's garden. It's my treasure, she said sadly, and she handed it over. So smooth and yet so sharp. This is good. The king then put the thorn through their own tongue. Now the riddle, they lisped. I could not see it, but it went with me the whole way. When I found it, I didn't want it. Riddle me this. What did I find? Chance asked. I know. A thorn in your fuss. Rael-Scholl cheered and clapped. That's a good riddle. They leaned forward upon the throne of envy. It wasn't a ghost. It was just a big dog covered in phosphorus. Holmes found some of the phosphorus powder on a bush, Chance said. What? I don't get it. The mystery of the Hound of the Baskervilles, Matt said. Rael-Scholl nodded petulantly and waved them towards the door. You technically are correct. You gave me a mystery. Thank you for your hospitality, Matt said. They hurried to walk towards the front door in the main hall, but then chains appeared blocking the front door. Never said I'd let you go, Rael-Scholl lisped with the thorns still in their tongue. Chance handed the chalk to Matt. We need a door, he said. Matt nodded and started drawing on the wall. Drawing on my wall? Naughty children! Rael-Scholl shouted. The king's footsteps shook the whole manor, but they were walking slowly, taking their time, savoring the terror. Chance turned around with his wooden sword in hand. We can't fight a king of Closetland, not without Excalibur or something, Chance said. We need to escape. Working on it, Matt shouted. Hinges and a doorknob and a keyhole, Chance shouted back. Got it, Matt said. Chance handed him the key. Rael-Scholl was stomping ever closer, a gaunt giant with the face of a devil. Human chain, Sandy yelled. Matt turned the key and then the doorknob. Everything went upside down as the king reached for them. Coming to his senses, Matt turned the key above Keisha's door, screaming, still screaming in his fright. They all heard the voice of Rael-Scholl. You think you won. You think you're free. I'll still have my fun. Every door will lead straight to me. The hollow voice of the King of Envy rang from the door. Keisha, destroy it! Chance shouted. Princess Lakeisha poured her bottled water and then rubbed the door into smudges. Their hearts took some time to calm down, sunny day or no. Butterflies in Closetland? Pablo asked. Every kid who dies neglected or unwanted is reincarnated as a Closetland butterfly, Chance replied. I saw so many, Matt added and began to cry. Yeah, I know, Chance replied. There in their empty manor, the King of Envy sat alone, sucking on the thorn in their tongue. Rael-Scholl knew how to wait. All things come to them that wait.